A warm welcome to Jerez, where the Enel World Cup gets underway for the first time in 2022. 14 races coming up for you over 7 venues, 2 new additions to the calendar to be seen later on this year, and also some big changes to the format. Here to tell us more, one half of your Moto E commentary team, Matt Dunn. He'll of course be joined in the box later on this weekend by Neil Morrison, Fran Weil, your pit lane reporter. But Matt, as I've just touched on, got some changes coming up in Moto E this year. Tell us more about it.
Oh, well, whenever you turn up, obviously Jerez here starting. These guys know this circle like the back of their hands on Moto E bikes now. We've had the pre-season tests here as well. Big changes, first and foremost, we've got 2 races every single round, so 14 races over 7 rounds, and we got that e-pole has changed as well. It's now qualifying 1 and qualifying 2, like you see in all the other Grand Prix classes. How does that work here in Moto E? Well, at the end of free practices, the top 8 riders go straight through into Q2, and then 2 more, a little bit like in MotoGP, will battle it out through Q1 for Q2. Absolutely awesome stuff. Keeping that excitement going. I think they found last year, with the e-pole, and we had lots of rain as well, didn't we? I mean, what bizarre times we're living in. How many rain sessions did we have? Rain interrupted sessions or like crash or whatever. It was just sort of, it's a little bit easier for everybody, and hey, who doesn't love the excitement of Q1 and Q2?
Not me. Oh no, me. Well, it doesn't look as though there's going to be any rain on the cards this weekend. Yeah. It is glorious here in Jerez. But there's also been some pretty significant updates on the Energica machines, hasn't there?
Yeah, every year. Fair play to Energica. It's their last year here actually in the Moto E paddock. And they've just taken it up another level. Once again, the bikes are now 15 kilograms lighter than they were previously, and they've been reducing the weight every year. So obviously that's been a key point about electric mobility. You do discuss the weight of those batteries and things like that, but reducing that weight every year in line with bringing the performance up. I mean, great job those guys. I top my hat to you.
Joining us later on, we're hopefully going to be catching a word with Dominique Aeguerter, and he can probably tell us a bit more about how that's kind of changed the feeling on things on the bike. But season 4, can you believe we're already at season 4 in Moto E?
I know.
Lots of familiar faces across the field, but also some new ones. So Matt, do we have another FIM ENEL Aeguerter within the ranks?
It's interesting because, isn't it? You look at FIM ENEL Aeguerter, obviously in Moto E previously, and now he's doing some very, very good business indeed in the Moto 2 World Championship. And you've also got last year's Pramac rider Alessandro Saccone, a race winner here, also moving up to the Moto 2 World Championship. He's doing great there. He won't be wanting to ride wet tyres for a little bit longer because after Portimao and all that. But hey, talking at the rookies this year, I'm not sure we're going to find another FIM ENEL Aeguerter at the moment, though one rider I'm particularly keeping my eye on is Xavi Forés. Those of you who watch British Superbikes, World Superbikes and also endurance racing will be well aware of that name. He's riding with Pramac, and I'm very excited to see how he gets on this year.
Among the familiar faces, we've obviously got our 2-time World Cup winner, Jordi Torres. It's the big question of the season. I've got to put it to you. Can he make it a hat-trick?
Well, I didn't even know I didn't even think he could do it actually last year, per se. I wasn't sure anybody could really do the back-to-back sort of championship World Cup victories last year. So, can he do it again? Well, he's got a bit of a problem in that everybody's hungrier than ever. You've got some guys returning to the class, they're trying to do the business there. Riders with a point to prove. I'm thinking of Hector Garza and Bradley Smith, for example. How exciting is Moto E? I just love it. I mean, I've still not got any cough sweet sort of sponsorship, which I really need for this class. You know how excited I like to get.
Especially 2 races now.
Yeah, I know this is the problem, isn't it? Yeah, but anyway.
Well, among the returnees, you've mentioned the 2. We've got Hector Garza back with us, Bradley Smith, but unfortunately Bradley Smith won't be starting this weekend. What's the update with Bradley?
I know Bradley Smith took part in the Le Mans 24-hour race, and he barely got off the start before he was rammed into the back of him, unfortunately, and leaving him with some injuries. Not really too many details on what they are, but I do know that he was fit enough to turn up here with the intention to race, but the medical crew said, you need a little bit more recovery, I think, Bradley. So we won't see him here this weekend. He's actually replaced by Lucas Tulovic, a winner in the class as well. So we won't see him here. And also Xavi Cardelo's been ruled out this weekend too, along with injuries. He's been replaced as well. Hector Garza, though, I'm really excited to see how he gets on this weekend too.
Just to give you some perspective where we are in the paddock right now, because you're probably thinking, Moto E, where's all that noise coming from? Obviously not from this paddock, but we've got the Red Bull Rookies paddock just down there. Oh, there we go. This is more like Moto E.
Yeah, exactly. A bit more peace and quiet.
Well, one man who will be looking to put an end to Jordi Torres' reign here in Moto E will be, of course, Dominique Aeguerter. His box is just behind me. Actually, I can see him.
Hi, Dommy.
Hello, Dommy.
Oh.
Would you mind joining us for a chat?
See, we've not actually seen Dommies since we got to the paddock, and look at this hair. What's going on with this? Very nice indeed.
Gone
a bit of a Fabio Quartararo about you.
Domi, we've just been running everybody through some of the changes to Moto E this year, but obviously you are the best man to give us a bit of an insight on how that's going to work. So firstly, your thoughts on the qualifying format this year?
Yeah, for sure it's nice to be back in the paddock, and the new qualifying format will be, I think, a little bit better for my side, because the Super Pole lap, you had just one lap that was very important to be fast, but don't go to the green part or don't crash. So now we have 10 minutes qualifying one, that the best 10, I think, go. Right?
Yeah, the bottom 10 have to go, see you through. So it's like the other World Championship categories as well. So the top 2 from Q1 going to Q2.
Okay.
Better he knows that now on Thursday than he's asking this question on Friday.
No, I hope I can stay in the top 8 for sure, to be directly in the qualifying 2. And yeah, it's nice to have this some more laps to get to the best lap. And yeah, I hope it will help me to have a good starting position.
We got to ask you, Domi, obviously last year, hugely controversial, dramatic end to the World Cup series. What is your mindset coming into this year? Are you taking sort of that frustration from the end of last year with you to be like, yeah, I got a point to prove, or are you like, I'm calm, let's just take on this new challenge? What are you thinking?
No, I think it's a new year. Everybody start again with 0 points, and yeah, I couldn't do anything much last year. I finished a championship in second. So this year we will have more chances, because we will have 14 races. So I hope I can show my potential, and I hope I don't need to get in a conflict like last year in the last race.
Yeah, because with all those 14 races, I mean, does that change the whole dynamic of the championship strategy? Because before, it was a case of actually some of the guys who got one win, but maybe they got a load of fourths and a couple of podiums or top sixes. Those are the riders you saw do best. But is it now, are you able to take a bit more risk with 14 races available to you?
Yeah, for sure. It's changed a little bit, because also you have always double races in the weekend. So when Saturday you miss something, you can still try on Sunday, or maybe make some change on the bike. The risk, for sure, you can take maybe a little bit more, because now when you have one time a 0, maybe it's not so a big problem like when you have only 7 races. But for sure, my goal is to stay always on the bike and make consistent races.
Awesome.
Talking about the bikes, they're obviously weighing a bit less this year, 15 kilos. How's that affecting the kind of feeling? How have you found the transition to the new machines?
Yeah. We got a new engine, so it's a little bit lighter, but we had not the perfect weather in the test, so it was quite difficult to find out. And also I was since last year Misano not on the bike, so when I jump on this bike I didn't really feel the difference. With the crew we know that we needed to change the bike setup a little bit, because the weight difference was not so balanced anymore. And yeah, we will see now this weekend. It will be a race weekend, will be a sunny weather. So I hope we can be more fast than the last test, yeah.
Awesome. Well, okay, the last question for me then, Domi, is last year you went out to try and become the first ever World Supersport champion and World Cup winner in the same year. Basically 2 world titles in 1 year. Didn't quite do it, but can you do it this year?
Yeah. Looks like in a good way, for sure. We started very well in the Supersport with Tenkate. 4 races, 3 wins, 1 second place. So I think the perfect season was starting, and now we will see here. In the test we was very competitive, and yeah, we try to be also competitive on Saturday and Sunday.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us, Domi. Keep an eye out for Domi this weekend. He's got some good form here, winner of that race simulation in the test, and also I think 2 previous wins here in Moto E, right?
Yes, for sure. 1, yes.
Okay, I added another one in there. Good luck for this weekend, Domi. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And that about wraps it up here in the Moto E paddock. Just to give you a bit of a rundown on the times you've got this weekend, because as we know, we keep harping on about change schedule. So you can join Matt Dunn, Neil Morrison and Fran Wild on Friday for qualifying, which is at 4:50 local time. Saturday is race 1 at 4:15, and then Sunday race 2 at 3:30. So lots to look forward to for this season opener, Matt.
Yeah, and not long before after that, they goes to the next round as well, Le Mans as well. So, goodness me, flat out.
We'll see you later on this weekend.